Welcome to RCAM. I'm your host, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in today. So today we have quite a bit to get into. So we are going to be talking about whether it's okay to gender bend or not. We see a trend of fathers allowing their daughters to put makeup on them and tutus. Is that okay? Is it not okay? Is it just funny? We'll get into that. We're also going to be talking about Biden declaring on Easter that it's also Trans Day of Visibility, as if they don't get enough holidays. We're just gonna recognize another one, and we're also going to be talking about J.K. Rowling holding the line against some of the transanity that's happening. So all that and more. So now, if you like this content, please like, share, subscribe, do all of the things. It helps me out a great deal. I see we have Taylor in the chat. What's up, my bro? No, I was muted for a second, but I unmuted. But I actually may be muting during this stream if I have to cough. I'm getting over a cold. That's why I didn't stream yesterday. It is what it is. This is life with children. You get sick all the time. That's just it. You know, it's like when one gets sick, then everybody else gets sick, and you hope that as the parents, you're the last one sick, which seems to be the case. So yeah. All right. So let's get into this. So I want to talk about this video I saw of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And without a doubt, he's a man's man. You know, he's a big guy, could probably, snap my neck with his bare hands. That's how massive this dude is. A professional wrestler and, action star. But there's a video shared of him that I think I'll play the video and we'll get into it. So give me 1 second here and let me get this video up. And thanks, Taylor, man. I hope I feel better soon too. I'm already feeling better. I'm well enough to stream, and that's all that matters. All right, let's play this.
Wow. Do you have to press that hard?
Yes. It's part of makeup.
Wow.
Oh, Daddy, you look
Okay.
so Where's the
Do I look cool?
Here's a tutu, everybody!
Promise me that I'll look cool. Do I look cool?
Yes. Stand up.
Do I look cool?
Yes. Stand up! Yes.
Do I need anything else?
Yes. Yes. You need to.
I need a tutu.
Yes.
I also need my dignity.
Stand up.
Okay.
Stand up so you can get your dignity.
All right. So, the headline, developing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been criticized by his fans for letting his daughter put on a wig on him and cover him in makeup. Many fans are saying this shouldn't be posted, and strange concerns are being raised about The Rock's masculine influence. So I will give The Rock credit here. He does at least acknowledge that this is undignified when they try to get him to put on the tutu. And he's right. It is undignified. So I am a hard, you don't do this as a dad. I know there's this huge trend of dads doing this, letting their daughters put on makeup, them having tea time. It's cute. No, it's not cute. It's not cute. It's not cute at all. We as men need to demonstrate masculinity to our kids. And by nature, cross-dressing of any sort is emasculating. It's also against what the Word of God says. It tells us not to wear female garment, and vice versa. So we should not be doing that, even if it's funny, even if it seems cute, even if it seems innocent. I'm sure The Rock, it was completely innocent. He's not legitimately a gender bender like we see with some of these trans people and these people doing the drag shows. But we get enough gender bending in our culture, like far, far too much of it. So we can't afford to blur the lines in our own homes. And also, this is what mothers are for. Mothers should be sitting down with their daughters and letting them do makeup and doing their nails. This is what my wife does. She and my daughter, they do their nails all the time. Sometimes she'll take her and spend like $20 to get her nails done at the salon. I'm like, what are you doing? She's 5. just do it yourself. Do it yourself. Why are you spending the money? But anyway, my wife does this with our daughter. So, and that's appropriate for her role as her mother. It's not appropriate for daughters to think that it's okay to do this to their dads, and it's not okay for the dad to go along with it. We need to kind of display a healthy masculinity, and you don't have to be mean about it. Just say, no, sweetheart. What I do is, daddies don't do that. Like, that's not something daddies do, but your mom would be happy to do it with you. And she is, and they love it, and they also do the bulk of the baking together, and they also do, other feminine things. Shopping. I'm not a big shopper. It's a task and a half for me. My daughter goes with my wife shopping. I'll sometimes get dragged along, but I'm not being the one that's going to be doing the feminine roles. That's a job for my wife. She would do it far better than I. She also looks far more beautiful than I. So it just makes sense for her to be doing this. Now, I get that there are dads in situations where they don't have the mom around. And that's unfortunate, but that's why it's a good idea to get involved with the local church. Maybe, if you have sisters, have your daughter spend some time with them. There's going to be some female in your life where they can kind of help with some of these things. So, I'm hard pressed to think that there's a dad out there that doesn't have any females in their life at all. Just seems a little weird. So you got some other hurdles to kind of get over if that's the situation. They should have some female influence. It's good. It's healthy for them. They need it. They really do. Because here's the thing with gender roles. There is only like so much a dad can do and only so much a mom can do. My mom, and she was an incredible woman. She basically raised me and my brothers by herself. And not that my dad was a deadbeat. My dad paid child support. He did his thing. We were just estranged for a while. But there came a point, though, where my mom could not show me what it meant to be a man. She just couldn't. She had reached kind of her limits, and I needed my dad, and Lord made a way for me and my dad to kind of reconcile, and I learned real quick what it meant to be a man. I'll never forget this. So my mom would do everything for me. And I remember going to my dad and being like, hey dad, I don't know how to register a car. And my dad's like, oh, here's the address. Bye. No direction. You're going to figure it out. And he just sent me on my way. And I figured it out, and I kind of needed that, though. I needed somebody to not hold my hand and teach me to start doing things for myself. And that was something that my mom couldn't do, but my dad did extraordinarily well. And I learned a lot. So I do think that these gender roles are really important. I think, especially now more than ever, when the lines of genders are being blurred, that we do need to kind of hold the line here and be pretty dogmatic about it. Your daughters will get over it. And you want to know what? This doesn't even mean you can't play dress up with them, but dress like a man. Be a knight. Be a king. Be a ninja or something cool. Something that exudes masculinity, and maybe show up and just play with. I mean, I sword fight sometimes with my daughter. It's fun, but I'm never gonna wear a tutu. That ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna paint my nails. You're not gonna put makeup on me, and I will never. I would die. I would shoot myself in the foot before I put on a tutu. So yeah, just things that will never happen. And people be like, oh, well, you're not secure in your masculinity. I am 100% secure in my masculinity. I just know that that's not my role, and my role is to demonstrate healthy masculinity for my daughter. That's it. And I think I do a pretty good job at that. My daughter looks at me as like the dad who can fix everything. I can't, but she thinks I can, because I'm able to glue things together and make contraptions work somehow. But you know, that's how I want her to look at me. I want her to look at me as somebody that fixes things, somebody that's strong, somebody that models healthy masculinity, somebody that's not incompetent and a goofball. Not to say that I'm not goofy sometimes, because I am, but you know, like I don't want to be that bumbling dad that you see on like most sitcoms that's like retarded and doesn't know is not the source of strength in their household. I want to be the type of dad that is the source of strength, that when all hell is breaking loose, my family can come to me, trust me, and follow my lead, and I can lead them through that. That's the type of man that I want to be, and that I believe that I am. And I'm going to continue that trend and try to my best to model what healthy masculinity looks like. So there's that. And I want to play another clip because this just kind of exudes and hits the point home that we need better role models. So this is a clip from, I don't know, some NBA game, I'm assuming. Guys, I'm not a sports guy, so just bear with me. But this guy named Caleb Williams, he's at this game, and Caleb Williams is going viral after seen vibing with his pink phone at a USC game last night. He wouldn't be like that in a UFC game. All right.
All right, thanks, El. How about...
All right. Let's go. All right, here we go.
All right, thanks, El. How about 2 Heisman Trophy winners here to support U.S.? All right, thanks, El. How about 2 Heisman Trophy winners here?
Like, yeah, that does not inspire confidence in me. You know, if I see a guy acting flamboyant, that ain't a guy I'm trusting to have my back with his nails painted, his pink phone, and his lip gloss or whatever. Just gay, just homosexual behavior. I don't know if he actually is a homosexual, but it seems like it. And that's just something that is just being normalized. You know, men are wearing dresses and they're painting their nails and they're gender bending and they're confusing the youth. And this is ultimately leading them down the road of transgenderism, where they ultimately mutilate their bodies. It's not cute. It's not funny. It just isn't to me. You know, the very idea of cross-dressing is something that I've kind of always found off-putting. Even in movies, you know, like I remember a lot of people loved Mrs. Doubtfire. I thought it was weird. A lot of people love those Medea movies. I thought it was weird. I'm like, why? Like, can't they just get like a black woman to be a black woman? Why does this guy have to pretend he's like? It's not funny to me. Even the Daily Wire's Lady Ballers. All right, I can appreciate what they were trying to do, but watching and seeing men in dresses, it just makes me uncomfortable, because it's just gay and lame. it's just so lame. I just can't deal with it. And but these people are influencing culture, and it's not good. It's not good at all. Like I wish he was there in like war paint. And exuded masculine energy. Maybe doing the haka or whatever, that like Filipino warrior dance. That's cool. It's masculine, it's strong, and exudes strength. This does not inspire confidence. Does not inspire strength. I don't need to worry about this guy breaking a nail. So yeah, just more of the same nonsense that we see over and over again. These celebrities cross-dressing, trying to make it cool. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's gay and lame. So there's that. And next story I want to talk about, man. It's like, you ever feel like you woke up and you're just in like a parallel universe? Like nothing makes sense anymore. You're like, what is happening right now? When I saw this image from the Biden administration, the White House, they put out this very official proclamation of Transgender Day of Visibility 2024. On Transgender Day of Visibility, we honor the extraordinary courage. Yes, so much courage to pretend you're a woman and chop off your you know what, and contribution of transgender Americans, and reaffirm our nation's commitment to forming a more perfect union where all people are created equal and treated equally throughout their lives. I am proud that my administration has stood for justice from the start, working to ensure that the LGBT community can live openly in safety with dignity and respect. I am proud to have appointed transgender leaders to my administration. Yeah, like Rachel Levine, the overweight transgender Secretary of Health. Nutty. Absolutely nut. One, let's just forget that. I wish I knew his real name, because I'd use his real name. But for this, we'll just call him Rachel. Let's just pretend that Rachel was actually a woman. He's still overweight and looks unhealthy. Like, how are you going to have somebody like that as our Secretary of Health? Like, put somebody healthy in charge. You know, maybe somebody that's, you know, run some marathons, or, you know, climbed Kilimanjaro, or does, Ironmans, you know, somebody like that. You know, maybe they're in the gym regularly, but somebody that inspires you to be healthy. But no, you put this overweight cross-dresser as Secretary of Health. It's just insane. And to have ended the ban on transgender Americans serving openly in our military. Another thing. So I don't know if you guys were kind of following me when Vivek was running, but Vivek had this this clip going around of him supporting transgenders in the military, and I think that's a massive, massive, massive mistake. The military is supposed to be discriminatory. They have to be, and they should be. But now we're accommodating everybody and their mother, and we're accommodating these gender confused men, and we're paying for their surgeries while they're in the military. Man, if you're out on the battlefield, do you really trust somebody that's taking cross-sex hormones and you know, has to dilate their woundgina? Do you trust them to have your back on the battlefield? You know, people too that are also prone to suicide. Are those the type of people that you would trust to have your back in the midst of battle? Certainly not me, at all. That's the last person that I would want having my back. I'd want somebody that has mental fortitude and is mentally adept and is confident in who they are, and they're not pretending to be somebody else like transgender people actually are. They are pretending to be somebody else. The whole entire thing is a facade. So anyway, Biden, he's proud that he ended that ban on transgenders in the military. We need to reinstate it now. Then he said, I'm proud to have signed the historic executive order that strengthens civil rights protections in housing, health care, education, blah, 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 blah. Transgender Americans are part of the fabric of our nation. God, it's just so obnoxious. I'm not going to read all this. But anyway, he made April 31st or March 31st, which also happens to be Easter. Yeah, here. Now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by the virtue and authority vested in me by the Constitution and laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2024 as Transgender Day of Visibility. I call upon Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and voices of transgender people throughout our nation and to work toward eliminating violence and discrimination based on gender identity. As if we need their voices lifted up anymore. We hear them loud. They're screaming constantly. You have a whole month dedicated to it. And now they're trying to take April, by the way. Yeah, they're calling April Gaypril, my birthday month. Like, very rude that they didn't consider me in all this. But still, they're trying to turn April into transgender or gay celebration month. No, we're not going to do it. You're not taking April. You already took June. We're going to try to take that back too. You're not getting another freaking month. You already have 100+ days on the calendar throughout the year. We don't need to celebrate you or affirm you any more than you already are. And you want to know what? They get all the affirmation, all the celebration, all these companies tripping over backwards to celebrate them, yet they still end their own lives. They're still miserable. Nothing's enough for them. You would think the opposite would be happening, but it's not. And it's because these people have bought into a lie. They have built their entire identity upon a lie. And the worst thing, too, about this whole Transgender Day of Visibility is that they're doing it on Easter, which is one of the highest Christian holidays. Now, I just do want to add this caveat. I don't celebrate Easter. I'm just throwing that out there. But I do acknowledge that lots of Christians do. I don't. I celebrate Passover. I think Passover accomplishes what Easter Easter covers. So I don't see the point. I just celebrate Easter. I'm not knocking anybody that does. I'm saying I don't do it. But anyway, I do acknowledge that lots of Christians do it, and this is just another middle finger to them. Another middle finger to Christians all over the nation by making this proclamation on that day. Now, some people will bring up, oh, well, Transgender Day of Visibility has existed for a long time. No, it hasn't. It has not existed that long. I think maybe 10+ years this made up stupid holiday was brought into existence. And it should have never been taken seriously to begin with. We should have never been celebrating it to begin with because it's just a retarded holiday. That means nothing too. Trans Day of there's no such thing as transgender people. I'm just gonna throw that out there. They don't exist. That is a figment of your imagination because nobody has transcended their gender. It's never happened. They may have mutilated their body. They may have carved themselves up to look like the opposite gender. They may have put on tutus and wigs and put makeup on their face, but they are not the opposite gender. Their chromosomes are still associated with their biological sex. Nobody has transcended their gender. Complete and total nonsense and foolery. Man, I'm probably not going to make it on YouTube. I'm probably not going to make it on YouTube. That's okay. Or Twitch. Anyway, complete nonsense and a slap in the face to Christians. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to usurp Christianity. And I think in many ways they already have, they have their flags flying everywhere. They've infiltrated our churches. And they're just trying to push Christians into the shadows, but we cannot let them. We do need, last video I was talking about needing to find our courage. We do need to find our courage. They're not taking a day off. They're not going to stop. Also, we should not be compromising with these people. No compromise. No. Say what is true. Be committed to the truth, no matter what that costs you, and no matter how you look. The truth is the truth, no matter how bad I want it to be something else. No matter how bad they want it to be something else. Well, I don't want it to be. In this, the truth is the truth, and there's no changing it. Men cannot be women, women cannot be men. End of story. Case closed. Sorry, see you later. That's just, it is what it is. So, yeah, they did this, and then he has a Twitter post celebrating it today on Transgender Day of Visibility. I have a simple message to trans Americans. I see you, even though you don't exist. You are made in the image of God. You are made in the image of God. As in, let's read the passage of the Bible that he's quoting. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Notice male and female, he created them. Male, there's only two. There's only two options. And Luna, gender isn't one of them. Gender fluid isn't one of them. Just male, female, that's it. That's who you are. When you deviate from that or try to pretend you're something else, you are actually distorting God's image and how he created you and lining your identity up with the satanic. Satan wants you confused about who you are. He wants you to identify with sin rather than the word of God. That's what Satan wants. So you are now creating yourself in the image of Satan, not God, not Jesus. You are actually doing something abominable to the Lord. You are altering his creation, because maybe nobody's told you this. I'm going to tell you this. The way God made you was perfect. Before you bought into the lie, before you started taking cross-sex hormones, before you started mutilating your body, before you started chopping off your breasts, the way God made you was perfect, beautiful. The Bible says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't let that get lost on you. Who you really are, who God originally made you to be, before the lies consumed your identity, was perfect. And I hope you can see that. If somebody, I doubt any people who are struggling with their quote unquote gender identity are watching this, but that's the truth. That's a God's honest truth. Karen Jean Pierre, she tries to kind of walk this back.
So the criticism over the transgender
It's a really
day of visibility. The White House said that the president wouldn't abuse his faith for political purposes. Does the president think that's what Republicans are doing?
I mean, look, just a couple of things, and really so surprised by the misinformation that's been out there around this. And I want to be very clear. Every year for the past several years, on March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility is marked. And as we know, for folks who understand the calendar and how it works, Easter falls on different Sundays, right? Every year. And this year it happened to coincide with Transgender Visibility Day. And so that is the simple fact. That is what has happened. That is where we are. And I do want to say a couple of things, because I think it's important here. As you just stated in your questions, what we've been hearing out there, a lot of misinformation done on purpose. And as a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American. Now, sadly, and it's not surprising, right? It is actually unsurprising that politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. It is dishonest what we have heard the past 24 hours. It is untrue what we heard over the weekend.
The moment we had elected officials recognizing insanity is the moment that they started to divide the country. And then they have the audacity to do it on Easter. Why not do it on a different day? Why not hold off? Wait till next year instead of spitting in Christians' faces. No, they couldn't help themselves because they want to do it. And but by the way, Biden, I can confidently say that man is not a Christian. If you support abortion, if you support mutilating children's genitals, if you support illegal immigrants coming into our country and stealing our resources and killing our people, if you are actively destroying our country and spit in God's face, I can confidently say that you are not a Christian. Confidently. He's a Christian in name only, and that's it. He is not a Christian. He is not a man of faith. Speaking of false prophets, I want to talk about this guy real quick. His name is Raphael Warnock. I mean Warnock, not Warlock. Warnock, Senator Warnock says opposition to transgender day of visibility goes against Christian faith. This is just one more instance of folks who do not know how to lead, trying to divide us. No, it's not. It's us trying to speak the truth. Warnock made his comments during a Sunday appearance at CNN's State of the Union with host Dana Bash. Bash noted that Transgender Day of Visibility, which began in blah, blah, blah. The Biden administration, this is from Mike Johnson, the Biden White House has betrayed the central tenet of Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Banning sacred truth and tradition while at the same time proclaiming Easter Sunday as Transgender Day is outrageous and abhorrent. The American people are taking note. Yeah, we are. And we're sick of it. And, this guy goes on to say, this is just one more instance of folks who do not, the headline, do not know how to lead us, trying to divide us. We're not continued. This is the opposite of the Christian faith. No, actually, embracing transgenderism is the opposite of the Christian faith. Embracing and supporting and affirming identities that don't line up with the Word of God, that is the opposite of the Christian faith. No, we are supposed to rejoice in the truth, not celebrate lies. And we know who the father of lies is, the devil. And all he wants to do is steal, kill, and destroy. And Raphael Warnock is helping him do it by confusing the church and confusing God's people. And this man is clearly a false prophet. And he goes on to say, Jesus centered the marginalized. He centered the poor, Warnock continued. And in a moment like this, we need voices, particularly voices of faith, who would use our faith not as a weapon to beat other people down, but as a bridge to bring us all together. I'm hard pressed to believe this guy wants to bring anybody together. He wants to divide us. He wants to serve his father, the devil, and affirm this nonsense. And this only leads to more and more chaos, more and more evil. I want to get into another story of one of my favorite feminists, actually. I do have a favorite. I don't like feminism, but if I had to pick a feminist that I would lock arms with in battle, it'd be this one. And this is J.K. Rowling. She is outspoken, probably the most outspoken feminist against transgenderism there is. She's not scared of them, not even a little bit. She's actually feminism has its problems, but you would assume that most feminists would actually oppose transgenderism because it flagrantly mocks women and completely kind of deconstructs everything that they've been trying to accomplish. Because now, if a man wants the same rights as a woman, all he has to do is pretend to be one, and he gets them. Insane. So this is and I've been reading from Tim Pool's site. So she said, headline is, "Arrest Me. J.K. Rowling provokes Scottish authorities by misgendering trans criminals. They aren't women at all, but men, every last one of them," the author wrote on the day Scotland's Hate Crime Act takes effect. So the act, which supplements existing laws aimed as hate crimes, establishes a new offense that covers threatening or abusive behavior which is intended to stir up hate. In addition to the protected characteristics of religion, sexual orientation, disability, and age, the bill also includes a female-to-male transgender person, a male-to-female transgender person, or non-binary person, and a person who cross-dresses. These people are really out here trying to protect cross-dressers. In passing the Scottish Hate Crime Act, Scottish lawmakers seem to have placed a higher value on the feelings of men performing their idea of femaleness, however misogynistically or opportunistically, than the rights and freedoms of actual women and girls, the author wrote. She continues, the new legislation is wide open to to abuse by activists who wish to silence those of us speaking out about the dangers of eliminating women and girls' single-sex spaces. The nonsense made up crime data if violent and sexual assaults committed by men are recorded as female crimes, the grotesque unfairness of allowing males to compete in female sports, the injustice of women's jobs, honors, and opportunities being taken by trans-identified men, and the reality of immutability of biological sex. And she's absolutely right. They are trying to usurp women, and she's has every right to be outraged. And ultimately, she called their bluff and challenged them to arrest her. And they ultimately did not. But this is what we need. We need people like J.K. Rowling that are willing to, prominent people that are not willing to bend the knee to these people, that are willing to stand against them, call a spade, and even be willing to go to prison. And I have no doubt she would go to prison for this. She's been very principled in her convictions against this, because she recognizes the insanity. She goes on to show image after image of, people who, males that were sent to female prisons, and she's concerned about them. And then she's concerned that if you call it out, you're going to be the one that's arrested. Hey Taylor, I just read what you were saying about Karen Jean Pear, and she is right in the sense that Transgender Day did happen to fall on Easter, but the whole idea that there's even a day to recognize trans people is just abject insanity. it's just dumb. You do say, but the day is still retarded. Yeah, it is. It's straight up retarded. And it only empowers stuff like this. What's happening in Scotland could very well happen here. And, there will be a day where we have to worry about getting arrested for misgendering somebody. Crazy. Or correctly gendering somebody. Stating the truth could land you in jail. Speaking out against sexual perverts invading women's sports and women's prisons and possibly assaulting them could get you sent to prison. It's just total insanity, and it blows my mind how we even got here, which makes what J.K. Rowling is doing all the more impressive. What she's doing actually does take courage too, because she's not somebody that doesn't have anything to lose. She's extremely wealthy, extremely well off, but she doesn't care. She's holding her ground. She's not only holding her ground too, she's having fun with it. She's making fun of these people and mocking them. And I think that's the correct approach. Mock them. Reveal the foolery for what it actually is. Don't bend the knee. Don't go along with it. And say what you know to be true. And she should be, somebody that, at least, if you're on the fence about some of this stuff, so seeing somebody like her stand up against these people should inspire you, should motivate you, and I was saying last week, man, Christians, they're afraid of mean words on the internet. We got to toughen up. We got to have thicker skin, because these people are not slowing down. They're making more unholy days on the calendar. They want us to celebrate. And then, there's a trend, first, it starts with, oh, well, just celebrate it. Let's recognize it. And then it's like, and then it slowly, comes to pass that it's not just, you don't just have to celebrate it. If you don't affirm them, if you don't actively participate in the lie, they'll imprison you. Insanity. So it looks like I had a pretty good stream. I made it through without coughing. I was only muted for a little bit. So I do appreciate you guys. Taylor's been dominating the comments. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch this. Please like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think. I definitely want to hear from you guys. And have a blessed night. Deuces.